Like for most successful companies, timing is everything.
I got into this about 15 years ago when I was a construction worker and I was working at certain places in San Diego, watching large corporations cart all this stuff out and throw it into a dumpster. And that dumpster was bound for the landfill.
In 2001, California was the first state that passed legislation banning the landfill dumping of TV and monitor screens, which contain lead.
That lead would potentially leach into the ground and could infect the groundwater. That's kind of how
So
it all.
that was 2001.
Yeah, that's kind of how it all started.
And then even a bigger regulation was put in place.
Very good. In 2006, they actually took it one step further. Toaster ovens to microwaves, curling irons, a shaver, everything. Everything was banned from
Anything that
landfill.
plugs in.
And everything that plugs in across the Western Hemisphere is what eWorld Recyclers destroys, resells, and recycles with almost no waste.
Our trash here is relatively zero because we do recycle everything, including the aluminum cans,
Yeah, you can see
including
the cans in there.
the cardboard, including the shrink wrap and stretch wrap, everything that we can.
eWorld Recyclers processes, on average, 1.5 million pounds of material a month. It's a high priority to ensure everything coming in goes out correctly.
One of the more important things to remember about this company versus others is that we've spent a lot of time and attention on identifying material by the barcode scanning system. It's a very unusual system to put into place in the scrap industry. We've taken it a little further to where we want to know where it came from, what the value is of it, and if we can reclaim some of that value and give it back to the customer, we just became that much more valuable of a company.
In addition to barcodes, there's cameras.
I believe we have 15 or 16 different cameras. 5 of them are online and open access for people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So as material is coming in, they could be looking, if you look up in the corner, there's a camera, they can grab that camera and do a pan and tilt, and they can swivel over and watch material being unloaded.
It might seem a bit odd that companies or people would be obsessed with tracking their trash, but that's because one thing eWorld Recyclers does is data destruction.
This is where you can sit in front of your computer anywhere in the world and access those particular cameras, watch your material go through the shredder and get shredded down into nothing, and actually video and film it all so that you know for sure that all your stuff was destroyed. We also have people that want to do witness destruction. So they'll walk in, they'll pull up a chair, they will sit here and watch every single piece go through, absolutely. Well, you have to remember that some of the groups that we're working with, Department of Defense, nuclear facilities, their information technology is extremely sensitive, and they take it very, very seriously, so do we.
You should put a couch out here, Bob.
I should.
eWorld Recyclers processes thousands of pounds of sensitive material a day out of this serious shredder, destroying information forever.
The idea here is that the computers have hard drives on them, the hard drives have information on them, and we've got to make sure that the information doesn't leave here. So they're going to tear them all apart, part them all out, put all the parts into different bins, and then those bins are going to be fed through size reduction equipment in this facility. Shredders, balers, whatever it may be, to turn that into some type of a remarkable commodity.
In addition to data destruction, eWorld Recyclers is able to sell and make money on some dismantled material, such as gold, aluminum, steel, and copper, which all have market values. But some stuff is a little trickier to value as a whole.
How do you determine what is usable and resellable to the company?
The internet is a wonderful thing.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
I know you were mentioning you have about 30 employees here, so you have a team specifically who figures that value out.
We have a team who works on the asset management side, and we have a team who works on the medical device side. So their job is to come look at the parts and components, research the names, go out onto the web, find out if there's a market, find out if people are buying.
eWorld Recyclers even has an eBay store, which sells about 10 to 20 products a day.
Because of the economy, we've had to reassess a lot of our processes and come up with creative ways to make money. And it certainly becomes much more appealing to our clients if we're creating a little bit of value for them as well.
The cool part about eWorld Recyclers' business model, it hardly costs companies or consumers anything to dump their e-junk.
Remember, all this There's really no fees for these services. We're trying to make our money out of the material.
In short, there are a number of values to what eWorld Recyclers does.
We can't keep dumping everything into a landfill. It's going to end up leaching into the ground. It's going to infect the water supply, maybe not for our generation, but for our kids or their kids. The second part of that is we can't keep taking stuff out of the earth. We can't keep taking copper and steel. We're going to run out. There's no sense to not reuse what we've already used once. And then the third part of that would be, if we're lucky enough to be able to harvest parts and pieces for reuse again and turn some revenue and share that with the clients who are giving us the material, it's got a threefold, it's a trifecta winner.
What's next for eWorld Recyclers isn't world domination, but just a good feeling.
I feel good about this. This is a fun thing to do. I feel good. I make a little bit of money. We're far from rich. Like I said, we're certainly not the largest in the state, and I don't really want to be the largest. I just want to be able to provide a good service for the companies that we do service.